So now we consider the next example, and we have the first fraction and the second fraction. So to begin with, we're going to look at the 4, and then we have a squared plus 6a plus 5, which can be factored into a plus 5 and a plus 1, minus 3 divided by the factored form of a squared plus 7a plus 10 is a plus 5 and then a plus 2. So with this, we can easily build the LCD. We're going to have a plus 5. We're going to have a plus 1. We already have a plus 5 already documented, so no need to rewrite it again. And now, lastly, we're going to have a plus 2. So that is the LCD. And that means that 4 all over a plus 5, a plus 5 and a plus 1, which needs to catch up with the LCD, would need an extra element of a plus 2 on the bottom and on top too, minus 3 over a plus 5, a plus 2. This would need an extra source of a plus 1, both on top and on the bottom. And now that both denominators match in terms of elements, we can write the LCD as the denominator moving forward, and then we can focus on the upper part. So 4 times a is 4a, 4 times 2 is 8, negative 3 times a is negative 3a, negative 3 times positive 1 is negative 3. And so we have 4a minus 3a is a, positive 8 minus 5 is positive 5. So we have this piece divided by a plus 5, a plus 1, and then a plus 2. And the common term to strike out here is a plus 5, a plus 5. So we're left with 1 on top, and then a plus 1 times a plus 2. Now we go on to the next question. So for the first piece, we have 3w over w plus 2 plus 2 over w plus 7 minus 17w plus 4 over the factored form of w squared plus 9w plus 14, which is w plus 7 and w plus 2. Now we can proceed to find the LCD. We're going to have w plus 2, we're going to have w plus 7, and we're going to have w plus 7, well, we already have it already. W plus 2, we already have it already. So our LCD is w plus 2 times w plus 7, which means the first fraction is going to need an extra w plus 7, both on top and on the bottom. The second fraction is going to need an extra w plus 2 on top and on the bottom, whereas the last fraction, 17w plus 4, since the bottom already matches the denominator, would need no extra element. And so, with this, since each and every fraction has the same denominator, we're ready to write that as the denominator moving forward, generally speaking. And now we can focus on the top. So we begin with 3w times w, 3w squared. 3w times 7 is positive 21w, plus 2 times w is positive 2w, plus 2 times plus 2 is plus 4, negative 17w, and negative 4. And so what we have then is 3w squared. 21 plus 2 is 23. 23 minus 17 is 6w. And then plus w minus 4 is 0. There is no need to write 0. And so you have w plus 2, w plus 7 waiting on the bottom. And then we proceed. On the top, what we observe is that they both have common factors. So we have 3w into w minus 2, or, excuse me, earlier we did 21 plus 2, that's 23. 23 minus 17 is plus 6. Apologize for that. And you have w plus 2 here. And so on the bottom, we still have the pending w plus 2, w plus 7. So we're going to take that off as common factors. And so you're left with 3w all over w plus 7. And that concludes that question. So now we proceed to the next example. We have to find a new function r of x that is generated by subtracting g of x from f of x. That means we need the identity of f of x and the identity of g of x. Where do we find that? The question provides it right here. It says we can replace f of x is x plus 1 all over x plus 3, which means we can replace this symbol f of x with x plus 1 all over x plus 3 minus, we can also replace the g of x with x plus 17 all over x squared minus x minus 12. So we have x plus 1 all over x plus 3 minus x plus 17 all over the factored form of x squared minus x minus 12, which is x minus 4 and x plus 3. Now at this point, we do need to simplify this subtraction, so which means we need the LCD. This would mean we will build that off of the pieces of x plus 3 and x minus 4. And immediately, by comparing this denominator with the LCD, it tells us something, that the first fraction is going to need some help. X plus 1, x plus 3. We're going to need to multiply the bottom by x minus 4, which means we must do the same for the top. And then for the other fraction, the bottom is x minus 4 and x plus 3. It already has all the components of the LCD. And so that means that it does not need any extra help. With that said, we are ready to go. If we multiply this or expand it or FOIL it, we're going to get x squared minus 3x minus 4 minus x minus 17 all divided by the same denominator or the LCD. So in which case we have x squared minus 3 minus 4 minus 3 minus 1 is negative 4x. Negative 4 minus 17 is negative 21 all over x plus 3 and then x minus 4. What we might immediately observe is that this piece can factor even further into x minus 7 and x plus 3 divided by the bottom, which is x plus 3 and x minus 4. We observe that we have common factors here, which we strike out, and so we're left with the final answer for the function r of x, which is x minus 7 divided by x minus 4. And now we proceed to the final to the final question here. And that will be finding r of x, which is f of x plus g of x. What is f of x? That is x minus 4 all over x plus 3 plus g of x, which is 4x plus 6 all over x squared minus 9. And in this case, we have x minus 4 all over x plus 3 plus, we observe that the top expression here can be factored into 2x plus 3 divided by the difference of two squares, x squared minus 3 squared, which can be factored into x plus 3 times x minus 3. So at this point, we're ready to extract the LCD, or to build the LCD. That will be x plus 3 and then x minus 3. So with that built, we can then proceed into asking in what way can we augment the first fraction. It already has x plus 3. It needs an extra source of x minus 3 both on the top and on the bottom. Now that that is fixed, we look at the next fraction, which is 2 into 2x plus 3 divided by x plus 3 and then x minus 3. This fraction does not need any extra source or element because the bottom already matches the LCD. So with that said, we can progress to the next stage. What we observe at the next level is that both fractions now have the same denominator as the LCD. So we pass the denominator down as the denominator currently, and then we can focus on the top. So for the first part of the top, we need to multiply these two pieces together. X minus 4 times x minus 3, that will give x squared minus 4 minus 3, that will be negative 7x, and then plus 12. And then plus 2 times 2x, that will give positive 4x, plus 2 times 3, that will give positive 6. And so we have x squared, combining like terms, negative 3x, and then positive 18, all over x plus 3, and then x minus 3. What we find out eventually is that the top will not factor any further. So, as it stands, this is our final answer.